I'm with Craig. We just met today, huh, Craig? We've been speaking on the phone a little bit. My biggest thing is trying my very best to find farmers that are organic and also practicing regenerative practices. And hazelnuts was a little hard for me, but here I am.
We're in Scio, Oregon. It's about 20 miles east of Salem and 20 miles east of I-5. And this is really kind of in the hazelnut belt. The Willamette Valley, 99% of hazelnuts grown in the U.S. are grown within 50 miles north or south of here. And so we're standing in an orchard here. This was planted in the fall of 2008. This is one of the older Jefferson orchards. It's been organic for 8 years now. We just started converting. I rented a piece from the neighbor across the street, and he insisted it be organic. And I thought, well, in for a dime, in for a dollar. Mm-hmm. I had some experience raising these already, and I thought we could probably do that. So I just didn't really start out because I had a principle or anything, but I thought as a small farmer, it would be wise to get into a niche where I wasn't competing with everybody else so much. And so that sort of began the journey of being an organic farmer. I've always been a regenerative. We used to graze this with dairy cattle. And so I've always been a big fan of grass and clover and forbs of any kind. And so like what you can kind of see here in the background is just a mix of what comes up. We initially, when we first planted this, we grew wheat one year in here, and then we planted to cover crop. But now we just maintain the orchard floor as it is. We mow it 3 or 4 times a year. In the winter time, not really the winter, but February, March, April, into May, we graze sheep in here. We're lucky that we have contractors, sheep growers who contract on the grass seed field. I do notice a few wildlife things. We have wild turkeys up here, and until about 6 or 7 years ago, they never crossed this side of the road. Yeah. And now they'll sometimes have 25 or 30 turkeys in this field. And and when it was just grass or when it was sprayed out, didn't see that at all. And I don't see it in neighboring orchards.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are some orchards, and you just can't even believe this is true, but conventional guys, and they spray something through the orchard that kills the earthworms, so they don't have worm castings on the surface. Wow. I just kind of gape. I just like, that's just so stunning to me.
It's so backwards.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to get your shovel?
Yeah, let me grab the shovel real quick. Oh yeah, I mean, it's just already... What I'm always looking for is the aggregation. So if we look at the top here of the soil, you already see all those earthworm castings, right? I mean, it's just all over the place. We go through the soil now. Does it look like cottage cheese? Is it aggregating? Does it stay more or less kind of together in this group of a cottage cheese is what I call it? Yeah, absolutely does. This is wonderful aggregation. This is where biology thrive.
Other people who have organic orchards, they might mow every week for 15 weeks. So it looks like, I call that the...
manicured orchard.
Yeah, I call that the golf course nook.
Yeah.
And around here, we try to mow as little as possible.
As little as possible. Let that biomass build top and bottom.
Right. And the only balancing factor we've really found is if we let it get too big and then mow too late, we'll have big balls of grass and stuff, and that really interferes with harvesting. The biggest challenge we have is these suckers that grow around the base of the tree. You can maybe see.
Sure.
In conventional agriculture, we spray those 4 or 5 times with chemicals to burn them back. In organic, the only solution is to cut them. So it costs $150 or $200 an acre a couple times a year to have them cut those off.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig.
Hey, thanks. It's been fun.